Greetings, one and all, to this week's episode of Tenno Clock. I am your regular host, that guy. And this over here is replacement laws number... How many weeks have you been doing this now? 3, 4?
4? 4. I think it's 4.
Yeah, and you've got...
I don't remember because I'm the newest clone, so, you know, it's memory degradation.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that clone rot. Just go straight to the brain. Especially making sure that the background footage is playing.
Oh my gosh.
But, so, like, just to reiterate, for anyone that hasn't actually watched in a while, if you're wondering, where are the emblems? Well, the emblems have been gone away for a little bit, only because it has become so difficult to find emblems in. It's been difficult for a while. Effectively, we need a resurgence in Warframe's popularity before we can actually continue the emblems thing. It was proposed, why don't we do a pick of best fashion frame, but I think we would have to have people nominate for us and things like that, or
that one is very subjective. It's true.
It's super subjective and is too big for my simple brain. I'm pretty sure Loz will be of the similar attitude. Right, so that's introduction. Let's move on to Dojo Dusting. Right, so... however, if you wish to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice, go into the description below where you'll find this week's polls. Go fill in the polls. You just put in your in-game name, your platform of choice, and you will be entered in for a chance to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice. Make sure you spell your name correct, because if you don't get it correct, and D messages me back going like, hey, Xeno, this name's not correct, which they have done in the past, I can't give them the correct name because I really haven't got a fucking clue.
And that Plat just disappears forever.
Yep, no one wins that platinum. But we do have some winners for the last 2 weeks. So for PC, we have Portal Puma. PlayStation 4, we have Covan. Right. For Xbox, we have Storm Defist 101. I hope that's not a spelling mistake, but anyway.
I like it.
And for Switch, we have Tucker Wins. Congratulations, Tucker Wins.
As always.
You're winning. You're winning yet again. Right. Okay, cool. So also, Loz was hopefully going to be back this week. Unfortunately not. He's gone through a myriad of issues. So first off, they installed the cable in front of the wrong property. As they install it in front of next door, and the the occupant of said property didn't want the company to dig up his drive just because they can't install the cable correctly. Then it was supposed to be installed this past Saturday gone. However, it doesn't appear that they've actually got the cable in properly. So, it's going to be at least a couple more weeks before we get Loz. And hopefully he'll get compensated for over a month of not having an internet connection. Like, he's fucking paying these bills. And anyway,
you'd think they could just run a temporary one for now, and because when I don't remember exactly what happened. I think a lawnmower destroyed our power, our cable connection somehow.
Yeah.
And they ran a temporary one until they could come out and actually dig up properly.
Yeah. So it's honestly super crazy. But I remember years and years and years ago when I had just received my first ever anime DVD bundle, which was Tenchi Muyo, right? And someone down the village of my parents had severed the power line for our entire half of the village, right? And he was building a wall. Basically, it took the company days to work out what happened. And yeah, basically, someone was driving through the village, and one of the engineers, he parked up. He leaned out the window and just goes like, "Excuse me, how long have you been working on this wall?" It's like, "Oh, just the weekend." do you mind if I quickly check something? Sure enough, the fucking power line ran right through where he put the wall.
Oh,
And
no.
so yeah, he completely severed the cable and everything. And yeah, but shit happens, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. Also, starting today, Monday, the 28th of, I was going to say April. It's not. It's March. Monday, the 28th of March. DE are doing, well, DE are basically sponsoring Tenno Clock to do a giveaway of Garuda Prime, the top tier bundle. All you have to do is go to my Twitter. There will be a pinned post for the Garuda Prime giveaway. You just have to give. I'm going to ask a stupid question that you have to respond to. You have to follow my Twitter account, and you have to like and retweet the post. You'll automatically be entered in for the giveaway. I promise you, this is how it works because I fucking built it myself. Because I couldn't find a thing that actually did all of it because there were ways to actually cheat it. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to let people cheat it. So, yeah. You can't do...
I think to be clear, you just have to be a follower. If you're already a follower, you don't have to unfollow and refollow.
Yes. Yeah. Or it recognizes you're a follower. Also, commented retweets do not count. They are not seen as the same thing.
Oh, wow.
So you have to comment, yes, because there's no way to see the attachment. There's Twitter has done this really shitty thing that when you do a comment retweet, it's actually a tweet with a tweet inside it, right? So you don't. There's no link from the original to the new one. So there's no way to backtrace it. Yeah. So yeah, it's impossible to backtrace it. So it needs to be a comment and it needs to be a standard retweet. Yeah. Typically, whenever people comment retweet, I normally go back to them and say this is not eligible. You need to do a comment. And
that's nice of you.
Yeah. Right. So, yep, you can get a chance of winning a Garuda Prime. Now, they have given a very small window of opportunity to do this in. I think you only have a maximum of 3 weeks before I have to submit the final results. Let me just quickly find out. They did give me a date. So I need to send the name by the 20th of April. So the deadline for this will be the 13th of April, right? Which gives me 1 week to get a hold of whoever the winner is and make sure I get their in-game credentials. And then, yeah, does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Right. That's it. So there's, right, we got some platinum winners. Loz is still missing. He's still at MIA to the
come
woes
home, Loz. Come home.
Internet. And there's a Garuda Prime access. So, there you go. Right. So that's it for the
Dojo Dusting.
Dojo Dusting. Time for the war report. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Yes, Garuda Prime comes to all platforms on Monday, March 28th. So later today. So if you don't fancy your chances, you just want to pay for it, there you go. You just pay for it and just have it. There you go.
I can't remember what the accessories were, but I remember them being very tempting.
Oh, God. Let me see if I can actually find them for you. I can't show them on screen.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So, do I even know what the accessories are? Oh, so I think it's an armor set and a Cyandana, which
it might have been a Cyandana.
It's like weird, pointy, gribbly, very Garuda. Yeah,
I just remember something being very tempting about it, so I'll look it up later and see.
It's like her claws, right?
Yeah.
She's got wings that are like her claws.
Oh, that's it. Yes, that's it. That's definitely it. Yeah.
So yeah,
love
you go.
Me some demon wings.
Right, and all of that plus platinum, whatever the platinum amount is, could all be yours for a simple retweet, follow, and a comment. Yeah. Talking like a couple of minutes worth of work effort.
If that.
If that. Right. Cool. So that is it. So I think that's it. We don't have any other news in terms of the war report. I don't think
Isn't
so.
there some other stuff coming with Garuda Prime? I don't remember. If there is, there's not very much.
I don't think there is.
Most of it's being saved for Angels of the Zeraman next month.
I'm just gonna check my email because
we're professionals.
They will occasionally message me saying like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, check out this, check out that."
Yeah. I did just kind of put you on the spot with this. I didn't even think about it until now.
Nah, that's it.
All right, cool.
That's all I got. Right, so that is it for the war reports, and let's go into the topics. Right. Okay. So I will apologize beforehand. These topics come from me because Tobiah was not well enough to actually do them himself. So he was like,
he's really not well. I mean, he'll be fine. He's just really not well right now.
He's out of it, and the message we got was a little bit garbled, and work out what was going on. He's like, "Yeah, can you get the topics?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get the topics. I got the day off." Right. So the topics we have today. Topic 1: what would you do to make regular single target weapons more viable in AoE meta? And topic 2: I love the lack of FOMO in this game. Right. So let's go to topic 1. Cool. There we go. Right. Okay. So what would you do to make regular single target weapons more viable in the AoE meta? Imagine you're the one behind the balance in Warframe. What would you do to make regular weapons more viable? I personally would make some changes to the amount of enemies in high-level content, and I would add special attacks for weapons after killing a certain amount of enemies. So I think they gave some examples of weapons from Deimos that had like special quirks behind them if you killed a certain number of enemies. Yeah.
I think it's the Zymos that when you reload it, it explodes like a grenade. Like you throw the clip out and it explodes like a grenade.
Right. What are your thoughts and feels on this?
I feel like part of his idea ties into something that you guys have talked about before, which is, or maybe we've just talked about it off air. Higher level enemies that are, higher value, but then less enemies in general. So you're not. It seems like the only way to stop the AoE meta is to make less targets, but higher value targets. Like they're all heavy units.
So the problem with what you're saying here is the fact that
just gets rid of the AoE weapons and makes it make single target weapons better.
AoE weapons do the same amount of damage per enemy hit, right?
Yeah.
So if you're hitting one person, they're doing the same amount of damage as a single shot rifle. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which can only hit one person. So, but the thing with the AoE is you put in a cluster of like 5 to 10 enemies,
which is what
you're hitting all of them. Yeah, you're hitting all of them as opposed to just one of them, right? So there you have your, I think, largest issue is the fact that these AoE weapons are built the same as the standard single target weapons, but there is the upshot of you're able to hit multiple, right? With games like World of Warcraft, they do what I think you're proposing, which is you have attacks which are single target and attacks which are multi-target. The single target attack does more damage than a multi-target attack. Yeah? And thus you can like do more damage to the single target, but you cannot do general AoE damage. So if you're a tank, you want to do AoE damage because you want to keep the attention of everything around you. Whereas if you are DPS, you will want to go single target because you want to knock them out one at a time, right? You want to use guerrilla tactics to pick them off and whittle down the problem. Yeah. Now, I think there is for Warframe there is a similar mentality, and I think there's a different way of approaching this, right? Why not have a look at the common traits of multi-target weapons and AoE weapons versus single target weapons, right? So you are much more well versed with the weapons than I am. For me, the Latron is a single target weapon, whereas the Tonkor is a multi-target weapon. It's an AoE weapon.
I would agree. Yeah.
Right. The Tsar AoE.
Let's
right. We've got
what I'm using right now is the Spore Lacer in the footage, and it's super multi-target.
Right. Kuva Nukor, multi-target, right? But I would say, what about the Tenora, right? Or the Boltor or the Soma, right? Are they multi-target? They can only hit one target with their bullets at a time, but they spray and pray.
No, I'd still call those single target.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Personally, so what I mean, maybe people would disagree with me, but I would call those still. It's not an immediate splash damage radius. I mean, like you're hitting with this thing. I'm hitting groups of enemies and doing like damage to all of them at once. Even with spray and pray, you're only doing damage to a single target with each bullet.
Yeah. So I think my argument would be, why not have it enemies have different weaknesses to both explosion weapons and just bullets, right? Oh, so I have
so maybe like bullets could pierce armor better, but AoE damage could apply like status effects, but like it would be something sticky on their armor.
No, not like that at all, right? Okay. Because we're trying to make it so that one breed of weapon is just as viable as another breed of weapon. So let's say, for example, the Nullifier. The Nullifier is an enemy where rapid fire, single target ammo is king.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Shotguns, nope. Sniper rifles, well, they're better now with that stupid satellite. Pistols, again, it depends on how quickly you can shoot the thing. But the assault rifles, they're 100% king of dealing with nullifiers. Yeah?
Yeah.
Grenades are just as much of a problem as shotguns. Yeah?
Yep.
So why not have similar situations where a Grineer heavy gunner or a Grineer what's the Nox, right? The Grineer Nox takes, I don't know, say 70-80% less damage from AoE based weapons. So a grenade doesn't do as much, right? But it takes more damage from rifles. So it's down to the enemy you're facing as opposed to, weird stuff.
I think that would help with because one of the problems is I know that there are a lot of different types of enemies and they're supposed to fill different roles, but realistically, there's not a lot of enemy diversity when it comes to Warframe because it's still just, shoot the
murder
thing and it's dead. Yeah. So I think what you're proposing would also add a level of, you'd have to plan for it. You'd actually really. So again, going back to my loadout here, you're talking about nullifiers. I have my AoE weapon on my secondary, and then I bring the Basmu, which is essentially assault rifle.
Yeah.
which is good for taking down those nully bubbles and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be like that, but even more.
Yeah. Or you could take a Tigress Prime, which I assume is still have some value of worth,
Oh,
or the
yes.
Tonkor, Kuva Tonkor, right? There you go. And you could take an Axe Stiletto, right?
Yeah.
If it's literally just for like the two different, like I think people could actually get on board with that, right? And you can make it that I've actually revised. I think 70 or 80% reduction is too high. I think 50% reduction.
Yeah,
But when it
the
comes
numbers
to
can be fiddled with, of course. Yeah.
yeah, of course. And I think with higher level enemies, like let's bring it down to oh god. Sorry, no, for harder content like sorties, not sorties, Steel Path, that's the one I meant. Or maybe trials if they come back, when they come back, please come back. We could see again, similar damage reduction. So it's really critical that you bring smart weapon choices rather than the biggest, most explodey weapon, right?
Yeah, it's what they intended with damage damage types. Yeah.
Yes.
It just kind of never turned out that way.
Again, you could say ospreys, right? Like majority of ospreys are good to murder with single target weapons, but you could bring in a breed of osprey that is like, no, you're better off doing damage with an AOE weapon for
you
this
need that grenade. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I think it sounds silly, right? And I think maybe later on you're going to have the exact same problems in the future.
Oh, there's always going to be a meta that develops, of course.
Yeah, but I think the only way to make it so that single target weapons have any chance is to actually look at it on the oh crap, I was the enemy side of it, not the recipient of the attack, not the damage dealer.
Right.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yeah,
because like these other weapons that like have these weird special effects, these Deimos weapons, like what are these special effects? Do you know them off the top of your head?
Again, the only one I really know is the Zymos, where oh no, there's the Mutalist Cernos, which pulls enemies in and then explodes like a grenade,
which turns into an AOE.
Yeah. It turns a bow into an AOE weapon.
Yeah, which just feels like, what the fuck was that? Right? We're turning this ammo clip into a grenade. It
kind of feels like they're leaning into the AoE meta a little bit.
Yeah. Which I don't think there's necessarily a problem with, right?
Yeah.
But I would like to see enemies that are tougher to fight, like Xmas units. Maybe Xmas units is the way forward with this.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a case of you have to focus down that one enemy. And I feel that it should be encouraged within the Warframe community to communicate more, right? Not less.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta make the enemy smarter, not harder. Well, no, not smarter in the way that they're
no. I think harder. No, I think harder is probably too vague a word. I think you mean spongier.
Yeah, you don't just want to stack health and armor on that stuff. Because
the problem with what with that mentality, I feel, again, I could be wrong. I'm not a game developer, but I mean this just makes sense to me. The problem I feel is that if you build it with just spongier and spongier enemies, then you are eliminating more and more of the weapons you have available in your arsenal. There was a brilliant example of this. Have you ever played The Division?
No.
Right? Tom Clancy's The Division, the first one, was a phenomenal game. Right? I was sad that it kind of went away and they focused on The Division 2, which was way too bright and cheerful, right? The amazing thing about The Division was it focused on downtown New York, right? In the middle of a snowy blizzard, there was a contagion, right? There was a pandemic, right? And there were these special sleeper I don't want to say soldiers, but like, you know, they kind of were soldiers that existed throughout the American civilization. They were specially trained for a situation of mass panic and hysteria, right? And they were called the Division. And it's a Tom Clancy scenario sort of thing. It was really good. Excellent. But the problem was the way that they made the dungeons harder was they just made the enemies spongier, right? You would have to waste absolute metric fuck tons of bullets to like it's I'm trying to think of the spongiest thing in Warframe. What is the spongiest enemy in Warframe?
Probably either the Eidolon or the or Mother, the first Prophet Taker. Probably the
Prophet
Eidolon,
Taker, right? I kind of feel it's the Prophet Taker, right? Because you know she's immune to different ammo types at different times and things. I would say it's the Prophet Taker, and I argue that the enemies in Division are spongier than the Prophet Taker when the Prophet Taker has fucking immunity phases, right?
Oh, wait, no, I know the spongiest enemy. The Robo list on Steel Path.
I've never actually tried it. I don't think I've tried it on Steel Path.
It's terrible.
Right. Oh god, I know Vayhek was spongy as hell.
Yeah.
Still, right. So basically, all the enemies in the Division on the hardest difficulty in the dungeons, every single enemy was effectively as spongy as Steel Path Vayhek.
Oh.
Every enemy, every mob in the dungeon was that fucking spongy, and you like, oh my god, you would spend hour and a half to 3 hours clearing out
the
fucking
my goodness.
dungeon. It took so long. It was so incredibly
That's
long.
just artificial gameplay extension right there. Yeah.
It really is. And this is why I feel that with Warframe, the smarter approach is to make it so that different damage types do different things. I would love it if we have different types of ammunition, right? So, or we could modify our different weapons to do different things. Like, could you imagine a Tonkor, which is just one solid concussive round, right?
So like an alt fire, but on more weapons.
No, alt fire, right? I am literally talking, instead of explosive grenades, you are doing concussive rounds, right? You are changing the ammo type, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's similar to the alt fire. It's just that instead of the same damage, instead of just changing the way you produce that damage, you're changing the damage type. Okay, there's the Hysterix, which is Garuda's pistol. You can literally, or is it cores? Either way, you can literally change like from toxin to fire to between all the elements. So that's similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, except for it's like the round type.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, but I would actually make this a mod. I'd make this an Exless mod. Right.
Okay.
So you go in with that type of like, so you could turn a Boltor into from a fully automatic into a burst fire. Right.
So it's not something you do in mission. It's something you do before mission.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm on the same page now.
I feel that would make it more interesting because it's all about the preparation. It's all about the pre-game before you go into, because then it makes things like trials, raids and all that sort of stuff like much more viable.
Yes.
Yeah. So but I mean, I think one thing that Warframe potentially struggles with is the coordination. Actually, one thing that would make this really, really good. You know how the Zariman, they have this central hub, the fuck, what was it called?
Chrysalis? No, Chris
Chrysalid?
something.
Chrysalith?
Chrysalith. I think it's Chrysalith, yeah.
Chris. It's just Chris. It's just
Chris.
Christopher. There we go. Christopher. There you go. So you have this central hub. Imagine the central hub is available to you in a trial. Yeah?
So like in between trial stages, you can go change your weapon type? Or your damage
exactly.
type?
Right? Or, better yet, all 8 players, they turn up to this central hub. Maybe it's just like, oh, you got a cargo ship. You're all in a cargo ship. You can modify your equipment inside the cargo ship, and then you got to sit down in like a special harness. You got to attach yourself to a special harness to get dropped down, like in Edge of Tomorrow. If anyone's seen that movie, so that way people can prepare beforehand what they're going to take. Right, they can communicate to each other.
Hang on, I think I need to pause. I can't. My headphones are acting up.
Yeah, sure.
Fixed. All fixed.
Yeah. Nazareth couldn't hear me for a second. So basically, like, I would love it if you had this prep area, because this is one thing that Warframe doesn't do. And I kind of appreciate the fact that it doesn't. It doesn't foster communication, right? But for like an easy mode trial, I don't think you need to foster the communication. But for a harder mode trial, I think you do. And one of the great things about World of Warcraft, whenever you were doing dungeons and things with the looking for group system, if you ended up there and someone turned up and they had trash equipment, someone could step in and say, okay, how's about I do the tanking, you take the role of DPS, right? Yeah, okay, fine. You could swap. And I think that's one thing that Warframe lacks, is this ability to swap. You can't swap it mid-mission, right?
Yeah, if you're doing a public mission, you only go in with what you have. You don't know what anyone else is bringing.
So I think it's super important for things like trials and harder content. You need that lobby, so to speak, allowing players to
coordinate.
Yeah, effectively. They all group together and it's like, who's bringing what? I'm bringing, for example, say you've got to defend an objective and no one's bringing a Garuda, a Frost, a Limbo, or I don't know what else is a good, or a Valban, right? Mm. I could turn around and say, right, okay, as we have no protectors, right, I'll swap to Limbo. And then someone else could say, no, don't worry about it. I'd rather you stay on Oberon as a healer. I will swap to Valban, right?
Yeah.
And, having that opportunity to communicate and things will go a long way. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be extensive. People go, this is too easy. Let's just fucking do it, right? Which is often what would happen in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But you need to give them that opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think that's I think that's actually a really good idea.
Cool.
Just a little lobby. Just a simple little lobby. Give them like a 30-second countdown or something. And
no, I think it should be 3 minutes. It sounds really fucking long. Give them 3 minutes.
Unless everyone,
yes,
hits the button.
Yeah. And it gives everyone the opportunity to coordinate, because it might be a case of, join this Discord group. Here, let me send you the link, right? Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it allows people to get coordinated and things like that. So give them 3 minutes, and then go from there. Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Shall I move on to the replies?
I think we should move on to the replies. See what people have said.
Right. If Warframe is not willing to change from a horde shooter, not that I think they should, that's clearly the source of the AoE meta. The only way to balance single target weapons is to crank them way up to be able to trivially one-shot most things. So I can enter a room, spray enemies down just as fast as someone can shoot a Brahma into the center of the room. I think otherwise, there is seriously no way to balance them. I can't see adding AoE resistant enemies as a good design choice. Warframe already has way too many shitty band-aids for weapon balance. Ooh, they don't like your idea.
No, I disagree, because what's going to happen, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, single target weapons are going to do 5 times. Like, do you remember the whole single shot rifle meta?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to explain it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I may be thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of like when the Eidolons came out and everyone started using Rubico Prime.
No. This is way before then, right? So the single shot meta, so the like the Latron Prime was a perfect example of a gun that had a slow fire rate, but the DPS, the damage numbers were insane.
Mm.
However, it was the most used weapon over things like the Soma because of one simple fact. You could bind it to a macro. So when you fired the gun, you fired multiple times. And the restriction on the gun was how quickly could you press the left mouse button. Yeah. It's how quickly could you pull the trigger to determine how much damage output you had. And that was like a huge bug, right? Well, it wasn't a bug, it was a logistics problem, right? It was like those people that were amassing more steelies than DE had predicted that they could, right? And as a result, DE would go temporary ban hammer, or I can't remember what the fuck they did. I think it was like, no, you're not having any of these steelies because you're clearly stealing them. And you know, it's crazy crap like that.
Yeah.
So people would, find also. So if you were to make single shot weapons like deal shit tons more damage, all of a sudden your Boltor Primes, your Somas, your Kuva Carracks are just annihilating the charts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. You would just shift the balance into a completely different direction.
I really, really feel that having enemies react differently to damage types is more important.
Yeah. Not just AoE resistant enemies, because that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about, enemies that require different tactics than just AoE or single target.
But a big part of I remember years and years and years ago, my attitude towards nullifiers was just go in the bubble, pop the enemy, and cast your ability again, right? But people didn't like that. People didn't like losing their buffs, right? So okay. Here's a better way of spinning it, right? Instead of AoE resistant enemies, right? Single target vulnerable enemies.
There you go.
Right? So enemies that could take more damage from single target weapons. So we explained this before with World of Warcraft yet again. They used to have it that if you played beyond a certain amount, right? If you got earned more than X amount of experience, you started to have a diminishing return. So you would only get 50% of the experience after that point. Yeah. And it was only if after you were logged out for a duration, let's say a couple of hours, did that diminishing return disappear, right? And the whole point was to encourage people to have breaks. But people really resented the idea of you going down to 50% XP earnings, right? So they literally changed the words. They multiplied it by -1. So instead of it being a diminishing return, you start with a booster, right? So if you've not logged in for a few hours, you have 200% an extra 100% experience on top of what you would normally get. And then by the end of that allotted amount, you just go to the regular 100%. So yeah, let's not say AoE resistant enemies. Let's say single target vulnerable enemies, right? Which is exactly the same fucking thing.
It's all in how you market it.
It is. Like, and like people may hear this and like, no, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you even suggested this, right? I don't like the fact that you're trying to trick me here. It's like, well, I mean, this is the sad truth. It's like, it's
called how often that happens in regular life. Yeah,
it's literally called spin, right? Oh yeah, but you wouldn't want this thing to happen, right? Why not? You know, it's spin anyway.
I would revert the question. I think I mean reverse, but yeah, what's the purpose of a single target weapon in a horde shooter? I think it's less about the damage and more about the whole game. If the game is made for you to kill 200 enemies in 5 minutes, that means that you've got to kill 2 enemies every 3 seconds. You won't have time to aim, to look, to dodge. That whole calibration forces players to make everything. Forces players to nuke everything. Headshots are meaningless. Weak point shots are meaningless. AI behavior is meaningless. Attack patterns are meaningless. Warframe would need to slow down. Less enemies, more time killing each enemy. Aim, shoot, dodge. Aim, shoot, dodge. Alternatively, limiting the ammo on AoE weapons. Other FPS games have rifles and grenades separately, and you obviously only use grenades on special occasions. So I think they're suggesting maybe adding a grenade type thing to our arsenal.
There is a special ammo type, but
yeah.
But the problem I have with this, I think this is a clever idea, but we already have ammo mutation mods, right? Which kind of...
Yeah, we're long past the days of ammo and health and energy being a problem.
Yeah, you know, we got pizzas, we got mutations, we got vacuum. I respect where this person's coming from, because again, I resented this to the nth degree when Destiny 2 first came out, right? You had ammo to swing a sword.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just like, yeah, you could swing it 3 times and then you couldn't swing it anymore. The weapon was useless. I'm like, what the shit is this? It's a melee weapon. It does, you know, like, I don't know how familiar you are with Bloodborne.
Not super. I haven't really watched much of it or anything.
So the big thing in a lot of Souls games is you have either just like a 2-handed weapon, or you have which got a main hand and an offhand. Bloodborne is you have effectively a main hand that can swap into 2 different weapon modes, and your offhand is often a gun of some varying degree that is used to stagger the enemy, right, at some distance, right? So it could be like 5 foot away, it could be 10 foot away, whatever, right? It's supposed to be some distance away to allow you to stagger the enemy as they sort of charge up their attack. There is one weapon that is literally this giant block of iron, right? It's like an like a iron for your clothes that is point blank in your face, right? But doesn't require any ammo whatsoever because it's just a block of iron, right? Again, that respects the whole meta narrative of the weapon. I feel it works. So if you have weapons that are like, oh, here's a sword. Sword shouldn't have fucking ammo. A block of metal should have ammo, right?
I mean, it would work if it was like a shock stick or something that has like actual ammo that you can use. But even after that, it should still do damage from smacking people with just a blunt instrument.
Yeah. So I like where this person's coming from, but unfortunately, our arsenal is too vast for it to work. Right? You would have to severely tweak the drop rate numbers of AoE weapons, and you would have to, oh gosh, what would you have to change?
I mean, if we're talking
you'd
about
have to get rid of the
having
mutations and the pizzas.
yeah, and if we're talking about adding a grenade type, you would also need a whole new button to toss your grenade with.
No. I think like the special ammo type works, but again, you end up with weapons like the Catch Moon, the barrel, which, you know, I mean, there was a reason why that was top of the charts for the longest time ever.
Yep.
You know, and that was just taking pistol ammo, right?
Yeah.
I think it may be adding more complexity, but I feel that having different vulnerabilities to the enemies is probably the best way forward.
Yep, and it would make the game more interesting. So I'm all about that.
I mean, having enemies that are like susceptible more to electric damage versus toxic. Okay, I get it. It is a little muddy right now, but having enemies that are susceptible to AoE toxic versus single shot toxic or single shot electric, it makes it more interesting personally.
Yeah,
that is my personal feel, and I feel it's a lot more easy to understand.
Yeah, it seems a lot more straightforward.
Okay. Yep. Should we? Oh, I actually just realized that there's more to what you that one comment.
Is there?
Yeah. The whole calibration forces players to nuke everything. Headshots are meaningless. Weak spots are meaningless. AI behavior is meaningless. Wait, did you read that? I don't think you did.
I did read that.
Oh, I thought you just did the dodge.
No,
okay,
I know.
Oh, okay, fine. Oh no, he does the whole dodge thing multiple times. Okay, fine.
Did you want to comment on that?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Maybe they could leave the weapons generally the same and instead add new game modes that would encourage use of single target weapons, low density, high health targets that you face off against. Maybe even give them weak spots that shut down temporarily if you hit them in the wrong spot. Add mechanics that make AoE spam near useless. People are attached to their weapons, so they stand and invested a lot into them. They might be pissy if the changed a bunch about them. Not so pissy if the steelier path or whatever just encourage development of an alternate set of high damage, high accuracy weapons.
Yeah, I just think we need to have it so that there are enemies that are vulnerable to single target weapons.
The Angels would be an excellent time to implement that sort of thing. I think they kind of tried to do it with the Necromechs because those have weak spots that you have to hit, but it didn't.
I also
still can just kill them with AoE like really easily.
I mean, I think another part of the problem here is the fact that just add weak spots, right?
Yeah.
But I remember this exact same thing implementation, and what happened? People just took the Ignis Wraith.
Yeah. Look at the Nox. The Nox has a weak spot, but you can still just murder it with melee pretty easily.
Yeah. So it's. I get where the person is coming from, but the thing is, if the game has both a crit system and a locational damage system, which it does with, the headshots.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't really feel you can have both. So, yeah, I just think make it so that there's enemies that are vulnerable to single target damage.
Yep. I agree.
Cool.
Time to move on to topic 2 then.
Yeah, time to move on to topic 2. Cool. I love the lack of FOMO in this game, and anyone that doesn't know, FOMO is the fear of missing out. All right. I'm new to Warframe, but coming from other games like Destiny 2 and Elder Scrolls Online, this game's lack of FOMO is refreshing. Destiny 2 has season passes that are gone for good after 3 to 4 months. Elder Scrolls Online isn't too bad, but does have some FOMO systems that can be stressful. From what I've read, Warframe doesn't have any seasons, and the Nightwave system doesn't seem very stressful overall. The only real thing that is slightly FOMO are the Prime Warframes being on a cycle, but it seems you can still get them via trading, so that's not too bad. I'm glad I finally found a game that I can grind, and if I want to take a break, I won't feel bad about it. So, how do you feel?
I will say that's even one of the things I like about, even though I haven't played it in a while, Dauntless, right? They do have a season pass, and that season pass does go away. But every time they bring one, or they start a new one, they also have a vault. So it's kind of like the Prime Vault.
Yeah.
Where they offer some things that have been there in the past. So, yeah, I that's one of the things I definitely love about Warframe, and it's one of the things I feel in other games that's... Sometimes you just have to let yourself, let it go. You have to remind yourself that you don't need everything. But it is nice that in general, I think there are a few things that you can miss out on. There's some cosmetics that haven't come back yet and such, but they pretty much always bring everything back in some way.
Apart from Excalibur Prime.
Yes, well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it does warrant saying, but anyway. I don't want to agree with this. Right? I miss the events. Right? I miss the events that were happening.
But those are only temporary FOMO, right? They always bring those weapons back in some way.
Yeah, but, I remember for months people saying like, oh, but I wanted to experience the event and I've only just been started playing. Where's my Gravidius Dilemma? Well, Gravidius Dilemma can't happen because the entire system for the star chart has changed, right? It doesn't work anymore. Yeah,
that is fair. There is. I didn't think about that, but there is some FOMO in events. Like you'll never be able to play. What was the last big one we had? Was it Hostile Mergers? Scarlet Spear, yeah. Well, Scarlet Spear was supposed to be recurring, but it was supposed to be. So if we're talking about non-recurring, I think it's Hostile Mergers.
God, one of the things that drew me to Warframe was the events, right?
Yeah.
I loved the fact that doing the events meant that it felt like the world, the game universe was alive and things like this. I mean, how often do you hear people say, oh no, I want to relive World War II?
Yeah.
Right? How often do you hear people say, oh, I want to...
In games and movies? Sure they do, yeah. But in real life...
Yeah, but I want to relive this sports ball match between that team and that team. I want to be able to go there and experience it for myself. Like, how often do you... Like, it's just... It feels really limited to the idea that we have to be reliant on anyone being able to do these events at any point in time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if we're talking about just items, that's I think it's nice that they give everyone all those. But if we're talking about actual like events and stuff, that's I think I like the idea of those being exclusive. Although we have talked before about having some kind of like museum for them as well, so that people can relive them.
I'm fine with because again, historical events. I went to go visit a castle in I had a holiday back, like a break. I wanted to go visit a friend back in August, and we went to Nottingham Castle. And I got to learn all sorts about the history of the revolution in Nottingham and things like this, and it was really interesting, right? workers' rights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at no point in time would I like to go fucking live this for myself.
Yeah.
Right? And I would love to see a not a dramatization, but basically a video documentary that explained the events of Dravidis Dilemma. I was there when it happened all those years ago. I could barely remember it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
so I think in your server today, some Athalian posted a video from, gosh, I don't know how long ago, really long ago, where there were like it must have been some kind of glitch, but there were like 20 Tenno guarding a single fence target.
That feels wrong, but yeah.
But stuff like that, you can't. That's just bugs, but still. You also have the really old. I saw another video of the really, really, really ancient Grineer voices, and they were just like dudes that had deeper voices.
Yeah,
like they spoke English. It was like the video was like one of them was talking to another one and he said, "Dude, don't talk about my mother like that," something like that.
Oh God, yeah. This is when the Captain Vor
was just a bigger Grineer unit. Yes.
No. So I mean, the footage may have been from that. The Corpus and the Grineer, the general units could speak English, right? But the captains and the bosses and things, they couldn't.
Okay.
Right?
I see.
So at one point in time, they swapped it around. So you can't understand and that's when the Corpus started sounding like someone put like a lawnmower in their face. But that's the general crux of the whole thing is the fact that like I want to see these events. Like I don't want to see these events come back. I want to see more events. I'm pretty sure the whole reason why tactical alerts have just disappeared is because of fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Which sucks. What have we got to do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because of fear of missing out.
I mean, Warframe is again. I like that they don't make the items disappear because that's mastery. The mastery system is tied into that to some extent. So they want everyone to be able to get high mastery, but the events and stuff that could definitely be an area where they don't need to worry so much about.
I think they'd have to. Otherwise, we'll just continue never to have them. We won't have tactical alerts come back.
No. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, they don't need to worry about appeasing other people's FOMO. Yes. They should do them without worrying about other people.
Yeah, they should just fucking do them.
Yes.
Right? But I think the problem is that, heck, we've got a new player here that has this fear of FOMO, and like, I mean, come on, just give me an event like once a month, once every other month.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's kind of what Nightwave was supposed to be. Was we get little stories and stuff that then never come back, but that's gone. Now we got Nora's Mix.
Yeah. When was the last? When was?
Oh God, it's been like a year or more, hasn't it?
No, it has to be more than a year. It's got to be like 2 years. Since we had, I want to say it was like 2020. I just want to either 2020 or 2019. Seriously, let's have a quick look at this. So going to I assume this is going to be the Warframe wiki. Yep, Warframe wiki. Scroll down. 2020.
2021. Oh no, yes, right. May 2020, and it ran until January 2021. Right. Okay.
But the actual last part of it wasn't in January, right? We would have it would have hung around, giving people plenty of opportunity to do it. So we would have gotten the last part of it. I think it was around like maybe November.
I don't remember. Yeah.
October, November,
something like that. Yeah. So it's been a while.
It's been a very long while. So what, 2 years? We're gonna hit 3 years of not having.
Well, it started in May, and let's say that the last one was in November, so we're about a year and a half.
No, May, right? I'm sorry, it's May, right?
Okay, all
Because
right.
I remember, like, oh, we did it, right? Now we have to wait like a month for the next part,
True.
and then it was
They
very
stretched
quick
that
to
one
do,
out.
right? It was very quick to do. So,
Yeah.
like,
All right.
we're about,
May. Yeah, we're about 2 years away.
but we're now moving on to the Zariman and things like that. So, but are people complaining like I've not been able to do the, oh gosh, what's the Wolf of Saturn 6? I've not been able to experience the plot of that. Oh, I've not been able to experience the plot.
That's a weapon that's basically exclusive, because getting those wolf beacons and then getting the parts you need from them is ooh, that's hard. That's real hard.
Really?
The wolf beacons are like, I don't know, 75, 50, something like that. Credits. And then the you need like 2 motors, and the motors are really rare. So, right. Yeah. But you can still get it. So, but you can't fight you can't get the wolf's story. You can just fight him.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I prefer this game over others.
Oh God, yeah.
But I just wish there was more to it, because I remember playing Heroes of the Storm, and dear God, that had so much FOMO in it. It was untrue. Hell, we play Xeno Alice on mobile, and they are constantly throwing events at us.
Yeah, that's true.
To the point of people are like, I don't give a fuck about FOMO. I'm getting swamped here. So
yeah.
Should we go to the replies?
Sure. Yes, with Warframe, you can just take your time doing stuff. It's great. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. It is nice, but I mean, it also you can grind as hard as you want to. I mean, Warframe also has its dose of FOMO thing. They didn't expand on that, but sure.
Well, I mean, I think events are
events. Yeah. Not gonna lie, Destiny removing DLC from the game is why I left. They gave away what I paid for and then removed it from the game entirely without compensating. Meanwhile, DE compensates the player for game downtime, which is true, they did. Yeah. Even just recently, when they released the new Nightwave, it was a problem on PSN that made them delay it for everyone. And they gave us like 100, or they gave us an event or an alert for 150 creds.
Shit, did I do that?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know.
Too late now. But yeah. No, Warframe's always been really good about compensating for the most part. I can't think of any real times they haven't.
I genuinely agree with what this person's saying. Like, the whole reason I stopped playing Destiny was because, I'm not going to put money into a game that's going to take shit away.
Yep. I agree.
So I agree with that sentiment.
Right. FOMO still exists. It's just less of a problem now. You may also not be experiencing it since you're very new. Many events have never returned, and these events are the best way to secure their rewards. Yes, sometimes they get put back into the rotation for other things, but then you have FOMO with those things. Didn't get the Vastalok? Varro has it, and he's here for 2 days. Don't know when he'll bring it again. There is still a lot, but that's not really FOMO, because you will get it again eventually. There is still a lot of FOMO, and the only way to get over it is to be in this game for the long haul. Maybe you'll get that weapon on rotation in a year. The Operation Plague Star will come back in 4 years to get Exodia Contagion. Yes, you can buy these things from other players, but you're now talking about thousands of Plat. And then somebody else right after that said, except for all the events. It kind of ties into what they're saying.
Yeah.
So they agree with you on the whole event thing.
But I want the events.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I think people need to draw a line at some point of, well, I can't be everywhere. I can't do everything. Yeah. Says the person that wants to do a bloody machinima and all the other shitty projects we're doing right now.
But yeah, sometimes you do just have to let things go.
Yeah. It's like there's...
there is actually here's a spot where there's FOMO. The Prime Access, right? They always have exclusive cosmetics
but
that you either have to, but not the cosmetics. You can only get the cosmetics for money, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's technically not FOMO, because you can get them again. You just have to pay for it.
I mean, hell, I remember there was a Prime Access which I completely missed on. Twitch Prime, sorry, that I completely missed on, which was this operator mask, right?
Yeah.
And I got that on the Prime Resurgence, right? I really like the look of this operator mask.
Mm-hmm.
Get off the Prime Resurgence, job done.
Yeah.
Fair. Yes, I had to put money into the thing, but it's a cosmetic, I should have to. But like it's the problem with stuff not going away is there's nothing to reminisce about. One of the best parts of Gravidius Dilemma were some of the lines about like greedy milk.
Oh God, yes,
how
greedy milk.
How Alad V was first hinting about how what you're made of makes no sense, right? The fact that, oh God, was it Mimas? There was a node on Saturn that the pro Grenier team, they thought that, like, I think it was crazy. Like, it was an Orokin reactor on the Grenier side and an Orokin catalyst on the Corpus side. And obviously the catalyst is worth far, far more, right?
Mm.
And the Grenier side of it held that node for literal days, right? And like we just didn't want to let it go. But we lost in the end, shit in numbers. But now fight tooth and nail. Grenier all the way.
Here's another problem with leaving stuff in the game. Look at something like Orphix Venom, which is now you can just do Orphix nodes. Yeah. They still have all the same lines in there. Yeah. And the Lotus lines make no sense now because she's no longer Nata. Sorry, spoilers.
Whoops.
So those make zero sense, but they're still in the game because people need to get those arcanes from the event, or the mission. But yeah.
Well, look at the Jupiter nodes, where I think we were doing a defection on Jupiter. I think it was like we're doing a sortie or something, mm-hmm. And Alad V is like, oh, something. Nata.
Oh yeah, where's your precious Lotus? Where's your precious Lotus now?
Yeah, where's the Lotus when you need her or something like that? And it's just like,
well, she's over here. She's on the moon. Yeah, she's fine.
We're good. We're golden. But it's like, but the great, like, again, the fact that people don't. So do you remember in Second Dream where Alad V is like, oh, you'll owe me for this, Tenno, because he helped out the Warframes try and assess what was going on with
yes,
and then shit was going down. Do you remember what the follow-up to the Second Dream was?
Wasn't it the Mutalist event?
No.
Was it Tubin?
It was Shadow Debt. Right? Where the Acolytes were after hunting down Alad V, right? And you had the very last part of Shadow Debt was you had to protect Alad V against the Acolytes, and the Acolytes were spawning in things. Yeah,
I keep doing this. I keep saying it's the Mutalist, but I know better. We cured him because it was the only way to save the system, not because we owed him.
Yeah,
I keep doing that. But yes, yeah.
So I just like.
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to.
Nobody else knows that because they didn't play it.
Yeah, and I feel like just fucking chronicle these things. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh well, it could be worse. Could be something done by
Blizzard. Could be Destiny. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Right. Shall we move on? I don't think there's any other points to be made.
I think that's
Okay, cool. Right. What are we on next? Graphies. Graphos.
Graphions.
Grappalos.
Grappalos. Yes. So.
Grappalapalos. Right. Okay. So the first question from last week's episode, you did hit the graphs button, yeah?
Yes.
The first question from last week's episode was, do you agree with Xeno's idea about the drifter and operator being mentally linked? 11% said no, 11% said didn't care, 26% said no, and 63% said yes. There we go.
All you yeses are wrong. I'm sorry, but,
Shut up.
Somebody has to say it.
You were yes as well, don't lie. Right. The next one is, do you think DE are having a multiverse of operators through eternalism? 21% said no, and 79% said yes. My question is, how many people actually thought of this before we mentioned it?
Yeah. I don't know how anyone could really say no on this one, but, You're welcome to your opinion. You're totally welcome to it.
We'll see what happens.
DE might be trying to lead us down the garden path and not really telling us the truth.
Nah, we'll see what happens. Right. Next is, how do you feel that friendly NPCs do not hold warframes with any reverence anymore? 11% said positive, 26% said negative, and 63% said neutral.
I think I'm mostly neutral, but I also a little bit negative, like a little bit on the negative side. I'd like to see a little bit more of that awe. Not always, just sometimes.
I think I'd have to think about it more. Right. The next question was, which colony interaction do you like the most?
Wait.
Wow. What?
Wait. Oh, right. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. My bad.
Okay.
We're good now.
Which colony interaction do you like the most? So 6% said the Solarians. Then we had an even split between Osterons, Little Duck, and the Mycoans. And then 28% said the Quills.
Wow.
I am royally surprised.
I mean, I do like the Quills more than Little Duck.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Little Duck is so high, though.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Solarians are so low.
Yeah, most of them are. Most of them are pretty cool, honestly. Aside from I could do without Thursby, honestly.
I've got no problem with Thursby. What's wrong with Thursby?
I don't know.
Too enthusiastic.
Maybe.
Too much energy.
Maybe.
See how it is. Right, and then the last question. Right, how do you feel about the ever-increasing use of non-Warframified terms creeping into the game? 16% said positive, 37% said negative, and 47% said neutral. So,
yes. Sorry, I'm really blind today, more than usual.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mixed up negative and neutral.
It's fine. They both start with any. But yeah, so I'm
not too surprised by this.
I'm kind of surprised how many neutral there are.
I'm not.
But
I don't think most people care that much. They just want to do the mission. Yeah, they just want to do the mission.
Fair enough. Right. Okay, so that is it for the graphs. Let's move on to what's the next part?
Order question.
Yeah. Okay.
You want me to read them?
Yeah.
All right, from Zergal. Before I read out Zergal's question, I just want to say thank you all for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. Very, very true. The font he wrote that in is labeled Carrier, and I actually kind of like it, honestly.
Though I don't think all the characters are carrying over.
Yeah.
I don't think the T's and the S's and the O's,
but
K's, Y's,
very strange.
I's. Yeah, it's weird how it's like Yeah, not sure what's going on there with. Okay, cool.
Zrugel also
All right.
asks, "What do you think Tenno Techno sounds like?" I mean, have you listened to Octavia at all? It's just
I was
going
going
to
to say,
be
what does regular techno sound like?
it's just going to be lots of hammer strikes. You know, that's all it is.
Lol.
And maybe a little bit of skeg music in there. I don't know. Right.
Cool.
4Kids Warframe adaptation.
Oh my fucking god. Okay.
Imagine all the things they'd have to cut.
Yeah.
With DE announcing the Void Shell skins for frames, allowing them to change materials, there's still a cosmetic-related question that a lot of people have been asking. I've never heard the answer for. Where is the right Prisma Latron shoulder guard?
What the fuck is the Prismalatron shoulder guard?
I believe Borrow brought them. It's a set of armor that's designed to look kind of like the Latron, that sort of design. And they only ever brought the right or the left shoulder and not the right. There's an Alexis set as well, and that one has both shoulders. But the
left Prisma
Latron.
I need to have a look at this thing. Literally the first Reddit post is right Prisma Latron shoulder plate.
I think that it is underneath Kanzu's bed because he uses it to smash animals to make his early lunch.
Why can't it be asymmetrical?
Yeah, could be. I mean, we've had other asymmetrical ones.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the fucking heads that we shove on our arms.
But this is part of a larger armor set, and usually those aren't. Or if they are asymmetrical, they still have a right and a left. It's just that they're designed different.
Suppose. Anyway. Yes, it's underneath
Kanzu's
did
bed.
you say Barra's? Sorry, whose?
Kanzu's bed.
Yes.
He uses it to get his early lunches, you know.
Yeah.
4Kids Warframe adaptation also asks, DE's next prime is Garuda. In advance of that, they've given Garuda's abilities a few tweaks to make her a little more consistent. However, a few players have pointed out that the frame is no longer fun. This is because apparently they now simply can't die while playing Garuda. As a player who has managed multiple times on camera to die while playing Oberon and get picked up by the Zephyr player, what does Xeno have to say to give these players more hope of achieving their dream, spending some time dead? For tax purposes, I assume.
I don't know what you're talking about with Oberon going down. That never happens unless there's a rad proc somewhere.
Or you're healing a load of Necros zombies.
Oh, motherfucking. or a Harrow's just completely destroyed my energy pool because of stupid vulnerability. Otherwise it never happens. Right. So if those three things don't happen, I don't go down. Anyway. So what do I have to say? Chin up, could be worse. You could always have to listen to Little Duck.
True.
Yeah. Little Duck could be the personal handler of every Garuda player.
That's hell. What have you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What hell have I wrought? Yeah.
You're a monster.
Yeah, clearly.
Community responses?
Yeah. Community responses.
There it goes. King of Gaming says, you mentioned bad, unreliable narrator examples, unless untrustworthy narrator is different. I think. But I disagree that the unreliable narrator is bad. It's easy to misuse it, but there are plenty of great examples of it too. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure Darth Vader killing Anakin Skywalker is probably a good example.
No, because those scripts were written at the same time. He wrote,
right?
George Lucas had written all 6 scripts. yeah, together. Like he'd written. That's why you have things like mentions of the Clone Wars and stuff in episode 4. It's because he had planned out the whole fucking thing. The reason why the production of episodes 4, 5, and 6 happened before 1, 2, 3 is because Fox said we will give you the oh god, not the production rights, the royalties off any of the sequels. And he was able to say, because this is episodes 4, 5, and 6, they're all sequels, and thus he was able to get the royalties off all 3 movies.
But you're still dealing with an unreliable narrator, because Obi-Wan says that Darth Vader killed Anakin, and that's not technically true.
No, that's hearsay. Right? That there's a difference between someone telling you a piece of information that is never confirmed anywhere else. Like you've only got one source of information throughout the whole thing, right? But like there are multiple instances of the Lotus willingly working with what's called the Tenno to slaughter the Orokin, right? You've got Alad V talking about it. You've got Lotus herself talking about it. You've got Hun how talks about the betrayal and everything like this. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they talk about how Hun Hun how had given Natar to Ballast.
Right.
That's it's so you've got multiple instances telling you this, but then all of a sudden it just completely derails it. So I don't agree that Obi-Wan Kenobi telling Luke in one movie that Darth Vader had killed his father, only to then in another movie get that confirmed, because like again it's all hearsay.
Yeah.
Right? Personally, when I was a kid and Darth Vader, I was just like, Darth Vader's lying. Right? Darth Vader's not Luke's father. But I didn't actually have true appreciation of the fact that Luke was able to use the Force to understand that Darth Vader was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right. Yeah.
So, like, that, yeah.
I would say, though, that I do think it's possible to use it right, or, use it well. It's the same way with all, like, cliches. You can use it well, but a lot of people just use it lazily. They use it for a cheap reason.
I kind of argue it's not the same thing. But if you can find me an example of the unreliable narrator or untrustworthy narrator done well, right? I will eat my words.
All right, you heard it, people. Go seek them out and put them in the comments below. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Right, Trex Paddock. The problem with Nightwave is there is nothing on offer that is worth the effort. It's almost all old stuff. That's true if you're a veteran player. Obviously not if you're a new player. But even then, you can get stuff like catalysts and reactors and Kuva and keys to go fight Glassmaker guy or wolf beacons, or there's always things in there that you can get.
How do I feel about this? The ultimate question.
It's not. I don't think it's worth the effort to prestige, but it's at least worth the effort to go through the main 30 and get all those rewards.
I mean, the whole point of them, I say the whole point of them, partly the point of them, was to have this narrative tied into. Actually, I think that's the problem. The problem for Nightwave is the fact that they were advertised as this way of telling a different type of narrative,
right?
That has that was easier to produce than things like this, but it's as since then it's been left by the wayside.
Yeah, it just never worked out that way.
Yeah, and I think if it was a case of it started the way it has, right, the way it's developed into, I wouldn't feel nearly as salty, right? Yeah. That's the problem, is the fact that these were law-altering MacGuffins that have ceased to be effectively, and they, and hell, like if you want, just actually put them on a seasonal rotation, because they're all different lengths.
Yeah.
You know?
Although you could, you could standardize that to some degree, but yeah.
I mean, actually, I don't know if you remember, the sorties were supposed to have seasonal rewards until they stopped.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, sorties were supposed to have seasonal rewards, right? And there were a reason to log in daily and things, but they ended up taking off the seasonal stuff. Like, Nezha was on there permanently until ultimately I think they took Nezha off and put Nezha on clan research.
Yes, he's in the dojo, yeah.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't remember that.
I may have been gone for that. Or just not doing sorties at that time.
Fair.
Right, so Lentheris Hunter. Too bad you haven't posted any of these on Spotify in a while. Oh dear. I'm behind. I'm way behind doing that for Compycast too. Terrible.
God, I need to find a way to automate it, because, like, seriously, it is such a fucking job. I mean, like,
it's really not, but at the same time, it is. There's just so many other things to do that it kind of falls by the wayside.
Well, there's a lot of busy work involved. I mean, hell, I might as well talk about it now. If anyone is prepared to help with CampiCast, so with CampiCast, we have this method of what's called collating images and things for the backgrounds, and we have to put that together ourselves. But realistically, it takes up so much time to do. I would like to delegate that to other people, because we lose entire days setting up fucking CampiCast for the recording. If we can delegate that to anyone else, that just make our life so much easier. Even if it's a case of, like, okay, so we just ask people to do one show, just do one show. Again, that's one show we don't have to do. If we have, and not every week we have to add new stuff to it, right? So
I think this week I had to add a few things, but not as we had a bunch of stuff already on tap.
Yeah. Right. Next.
And finally, from Coffee Sharp? Kofes Harap? In relation to us talking last week about how Warframe doesn't make real world references and Xeno saying Star Wars didn't do it. Hate to break it to you, but Han Solo actually says, "I'll see you in hell," to a rebel operative on Hoth when he is told it's too dangerous to go out at night. And I also remembered another one, which was Anakin, little baby Anakin, asking Padme if she was an angel. Are you an angel? Yeah. Yep. Who knew?
Okay, I'll give you that.
but it still would be nice if it's a little harder to Warframeify stuff again.
Yeah.
That's it for the community responses. So now it's time for everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite. Memes.
That's large.
You're large.
And in charge.
Oh, you are?
Meme number 1.
What the fuck?
Where did it bring you? Back to Arsenal. God tier overpowered Kuva Brahma. Maxed out Epitaph. Radiation Sword.
Oh, I love that one. That was brilliant. A really good one.
An important announcement from Jibjed. You want Kuva to roll that Vectus Riven. I need Kuva because it's my life force. We are not the same. Good use of that meme, I think.
Yep, agreed.
Building my Roomba army. New Warframe. I sleep. Domestic drone in Nightwave. Real shit, man. Real shit. Gotta get that domestic drone.
Oh my god.
Number 4, Sunday morning cartoons, the good times. My mom and her friends having a chat in the living room. Me about to ask if I could watch anime.
Oh, I mean that triggers feels.
That was number 4. Number 5. I wonder why we can't do the same, but with the Parazon. When you play as Teshin in the new war and find out he doesn't do bullet jumps, instead he uses the Orpheus as a harpoon that allows him to travel further and faster. Wonderful. God, that would be really cool with the Parazon.
No, just keep it. Just keep it.
Keep it for Teshin. All right.
Keep it for Teshin.
All right.
Just keep it for Teshin.
A little bit of that FOMO.
Yep.
Fares particularly well with with internal bleeding damage. Archiplasmor, 71,147. Rubico Prime, 59,677 with a multi-shot, so you get some other ones. And La Chancla damage cap. Both impact and blast damage.
What the fuck?
You don't know about La Chancla?
No.
It's kind of a meme about Hispanic families over here. The mom, when she's really angry, will hit you with her. Yeah, it's not a slipper, but it's like a flip flop or whatever, or a sandal. But yeah, just smacks you with it.
Same deal.
It does so much damage. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've seen them TikToks.
Yes.
Cool.
That does it for the memes. So now
community shoutouts. Cool. So the first one is Operator Sewing Excal Cyandana by Cobalt. Apparently this is an old one of theirs, but I've never seen this, so I thought, yeah, go for it.
That's cool.
Cool. The second one is Doodle of Daddy Tilragor by Lady Bazile. Belize.
I love it.
But yeah, so there's 3 images on this one. So, if you want to see all 3, go in the description below. It's the second community shout out. Third one is a kit gun by Mijik Thies.
The potatoes there for scale. Okay.
Yeah, potatoes there for scale.
So did they actually build that?
Yep, it's modular as well, so you can actually take it apart.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I don't know what 3 parts it is. They do actually list it on the
it's rattle guts and something.
tweet.
I don't know.
Yep. So the fourth one is Ghoul Saw Riding by Katsunon.
I forgot that's even a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the combo attacks and things, but they're like, "Can you make it permanent, please?" I'm like, yeah, it should be permanent, right?
It should be a toggle.
Yep. The fifth one is Tilragor by Stefan.
Oh my goodness!
And, this just gives me such manga vibes. It's untrue.
I have no idea what he's saying there. I can't. It's too small to read. Please, little one.
Poor little one. I'll break the Tenno lizards apart. Piece by accursed piece for you and your kindred. Then their precious lotus.
Oh, Daddy Till. Yep. He loves his two.
Yep. And then the last one, which I thought was incredible, Warframe Crabs.
Yes, I saw this. Oh, this is so good.
Yep, I love these. I thought they were brilliant.
Where's the Grenadier one, though?
Oh, this is just another one. But yeah, so we've got the Orican one, Aura Crab, then we've got the Prophet Pincher and the Nibbles.
So, I want Nibbles.
To be honest, I would happily have these scuttle around my altar, right?
DE, make it happen. Give this person money and put these in the game.
Screw. Why do they have to give them money? I don't know. But screw the domestic.
They should get paid for their designs.
Yeah, you're right. But screw the domestic drones. Just give us these, seriously.
Yeah.
Remind me so much of the. Oh god, what were those droids called in Farscape?
The DRDs. Yes. Yeah. Cool.
So for the orbiter, right? Okay. So that is it for the community shoutouts. That's it for the show, isn't it?
Yeah,
we were done. This is over. We finished.
We did it.
Kind of thought that my second topic would last a little bit longer, but it turns out I suck. So, yep.
No, I think it was good.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh wait, I have to hit the outro. I have to actually let these fine Patreon people get their credit for supporting. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't what's called rob poor Ben of his opportunity to be on the Patreon people, the fine people that pay for the production of Notice Me Senpai and Arbiters, the people that pay you,
they do,
Nazareth, to actually
editing.
Look, poor Ben. Poor Ben is just completely robbed of this. I mean, how could you? All right, bye everyone.
Bye.